stand on the Giza plateau at dawn, around 2580 BCE. The air is cold, the sand still silver with dew, and three mountains of stone rise out of the desert like frozen waves. The largest, 146 meters tall, catches the first ray of sun and turns the color of molten copper. Its shadow stretches 200 meters across the plateau, swallowing the smaller pyramids in darkness. This is Khufu's Great Pyramid, the tallest structure on Earth for the next 3,800 years. To its southwest, Khafre's pyramid gleams with its original casing still intact at the apex, a white cap against the sky. And beyond, Menkaure's smaller tomb stands like a child between giants. Together they form the most famous skyline in human history. But these are not just tombs. They are the climax of a century-long pyramid boom, the moment Egypt flexed every sinew of its civilization to build the impossible, and the beginning of the end for pyramid building itself. Let's walk the plateau, stone by stone, and uncover why Giza's Big Three matter: engineering miracles, political statements, and the collapse that followed. Rewind to 2686 BCE. Egypt is in its fourth dynasty, the golden age of the Old Kingdom. The state is a machine. Memphis is the capital, the Nile is the artery, and the pharaoh is God on earth. After Imhotep's step pyramid at Saqqara, Sneferu, Khufu's father, spends 50 years experimenting. He builds three pyramids: the collapsed Medum pile, the bent rhomboidal at Dashur, and the flawless Red Pyramid, the first successful true pyramid. Sneferu moves 2 million tons of stone, more than any king before or after. He perfects ramps, levers, and labor gangs. When he dies, the treasury is strained, but the blueprint is ready. His son Khufu inherits a workforce of 100,000 men, quarries at Aswan and Tura, and a burning ambition to outdo his father. The result is the Great Pyramid, the apex of the boom. Khufu's pyramid, originally called Akhet Khufu, Horizon of Khufu, covers 13 acres. Its base is 230.4 meters per side, level to within 2.1 centimeters. The sides slope at 51 degrees 50-40, aligning to true north within 3 arcminutes. It contains 2.3 million limestone blocks, averaging 2.5 tons each, some granite beams in the king's chamber weighing 80 tons. The total mass is 5.9 million tons. To build it in 20 years, workers placed a block every 2 minutes, day and night, for 7,300 days. The logistics are staggering. Stone comes from Tura across the river for casing, Aswan 800 kilometers south for granite, the local plateau for core. Copper chisels, wooden sledges, and ramps, straight, spiraling, or internal, move the blocks. The workforce is not slaves but conscripted farmers during the inundation season, housed in a city of barracks, bakeries, and breweries. Wall paintings show them singing, "Bring the stone, the beautiful stone, for the house of eternity." Inside, the pyramid is a maze of precision. A descending passage leads to an unfinished subterranean chamber. An ascending passage climbs at 26 degrees to the Grand Gallery, a corbelled corridor 8.6 meters tall, its walls polished to a mirror finish. At the top, the king's chamber is lined with red Aswan granite, its ceiling 9 monolithic beams. Above it, 5 relieving chambers distribute the weight of 1,000,000 tons so the roof does not collapse. A granite sarcophagus, too large to fit through the passage, was installed during construction. Air shafts, once thought to be ventilation, point to Orion's belt and the circumpolar stars, aligning the pharaoh's soul with the imperishable heavens. Every detail is calculated. Every joint is mortised. The pyramid is not just a tomb, it is a machine for immortality. Khafre, Khufu's son, inherits the plateau in 2558 BCE. He could have built elsewhere, but Giza is the brand. He chooses a site 20 meters higher, making his pyramid appear taller, though it is 10 meters shorter at 136.4 meters. He keeps the original casing at the top, 200 tons of Tura limestone still gleaming today. His innovation is the Valley Temple, a megalithic masterpiece of red granite and alabaster, its pillars 8 meters tall, its floor polished to reflect torchlight. A causeway 500 meters long links it to the mortuary temple, where priests offer bread and beer daily. Khafre also carves the Sphinx from a limestone outcrop, its face likely his own, its body a lion guarding the necropolis. The Sphinx is 73 meters long, 20 meters tall, its eyes staring east to greet the sun. Khafre's pyramid complex is smaller but more refined, a statement that the boom is maturing. Menkaure, Khafre's son, rules from 2532 BCE. The treasury is thinner, the workforce smaller. His pyramid is only 65 meters tall, its base 103.4 meters, but quality trumps size. The lower 16 courses are cased in red Aswan granite, some blocks 10 tons, hauled 800 kilometers. The mortuary temple is lavish, with niches for statues and a courtyard of palm-formed columns. Menkaure dies before completion. His son Shepseskaf finishes it in mudbrick, a quiet signal that the boom is faltering. Still, the three pyramids align diagonally, their shadows merging at sunset, a visual harmony that feels planned across generations. Why did they build so big? The answer is theological, political, and economic. Theologically, the pyramid is a resurrection machine. The pharaoh ascends the stepped sides, echoing Imhotep's designed to join Ra in the sky. The shape mimics the sun's rays, a primeval mound emerging from the flood. Politically, the pyramid is a flex. Khufu's horizon dominates the skyline, reminding nobles and foreigners that the king is God. Economically, the boom employs tens of thousands, redistributes grain, and centralizes power. The pharaoh controls labor, stone, and food. Dissent is impossible when your family eats because of the king's tomb. The engineering is mind-bending. The Great Pyramid's base is a perfect square, its corners aligned to cardinal points using stellar observations. Workers leveled the bedrock by cutting a grid of trenches, filling them with water and marking the surface. They moved 80-ton beams using counterramps and levers, their wooden rollers lubricated with Nile silt. The casing stones, 2.5 tons each, were polished on-site with copper tools and sand, their joints so tight a razor blade cannot fit. The internal chambers used granite beams quarried at Aswan, floated on barges during inundation, then dragged up ramps. The relieving chambers above the king's chamber distribute weight like a bridge truss, a structural insight 4,500 years ahead of its time. Archaeology confirms the scale. The workers' village south of the plateau housed 20,000 people, its streets laid in a grid, its bakeries producing 10,000 loaves daily. Fish bones from the delta, cattle from the Fayum, and beer jars stamped with Khufu's name show a supply chain spanning Egypt. A papyrus logbook, the diary of Menkaure, records hauling casing stones from Tura in 26 days. Graffiti inside the relieving chambers reads, "Friends of Khufu," the gang names of proud laborers. The pyramid was not built by aliens or slaves, but by a state at the peak of its power, every citizen a cog in the machine of eternity. Yet the boom collapses. After Menkaure, the 5th dynasty shrinks pyramids to 50 meters, then 20. By the 6th dynasty, they are rubble heaps. Why? The treasury is empty. Khufu's pyramid alone cost the equivalent of $1 billion in labor and stone. The priesthood of Ra at Heliopolis grows rich, diverting funds to sun temples. Climate change, drier floods, lower harvest, strains the economy. Nobles build lavish mastabas, siphoning resources. The pharaoh's power wanes as local governors, nomarchs, gain autonomy. By 2181 BCE, the Old Kingdom fractures into the First Intermediate Period, a century of civil war and famine. The collapse is visible at Giza. Khafre's Valley Temple is unfinished in places. Menkaure's pyramid uses mud brick casing. Later kings quarry the site, stripping Tura limestone for Cairo's mosques. The Sphinx's beard falls off, its face erodes. By the New Kingdom, priests reuse the causeways as roads. The pyramids stand, but their magic fades. The boom ends not with a bang, but with a sigh. The state can no longer afford immortality. Stand on the plateau today. The Great Pyramid is pocked with holes, its casing gone, but its core is intact. Khafre's apex still shines. Menkaure's granite base glows red at sunset. Tourists climb the blocks, camels plod past, and the wind carries the call to prayer from Cairo. The pyramids are no longer tombs but symbols of human ambition, of engineering genius, of a civilization that reached too high and fell. They are the last gasp of a world where one man could command 1,000,000 tons of stone and make the desert bloom with eternity. The Giza trio matters because they are the climax of the pyramid boom and its epitaph. Khufu pushed the limits of physics and logistics, building a mountain in 20 years. Khafre refined the art, carving a lion from living rock. Menkaure scaled back, a quiet acknowledgement that the age of giants was ending. Together, they show what a unified state can achieve and what happens when it overreaches. The collapse of pyramid building is not failure but transition. Egypt survives, smaller, humbler, but alive. The pyramids stand as warnings and inspirations. Build big, but know your limits. As the sun sets, the shadows merge again and the plateau falls silent. The pharaohs are dust, the ramps are sand, but the stones remain. They whisper the same message they did 4,500 years ago. We were here. We dreamed. We built. And the world was never the same.